Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Cody, drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip. Go. Yesterday, I made a change to my streams. So, for those of you who were here yesterday live, you may have noticed a distinct increase in my streaming quality if you watch my streams at the higher quality settings, meaning 720p, 1080p, or there's actually a new setting, 1440p, okay? So if you watch me on any of those, you should be able to see that the fact that the video is much clearer, and the frame rate is smoother, and it will not pixelize during action sequences like it used to. All right? So if you're saying, I don't know what you mean, allow me to explain, okay? So earlier this year, at the very beginning of this year, I changed my capture setup. My old capture device of 9 years finally bit the dust. Needed a new one. Someone was able to find a capture device that was compatible with my PC, which is excellent because my PC is ancient, and I've been using this one ever since. Now, this capture device can only do 1080p video, 60 frames per second. But this capture device is more modern than the other one that I had, and it took significantly less load to capture from this device. So at that time, I said, how about we try some different things, okay? I increased the streaming quality, I increased the video quality, all kinds of stuff. Now, what I noticed was that it was maxing my CPU when I did this. Like, my CPU use was at like 90-something%. That's awful. You don't want your computer always running at 90-something%. And I was like, well, this is not good. This is going to lead to problems. So I wonder what we're going to do. And so over the course of the first few months of this year, I was experimenting a bit. And someone had sent me some information and suggested that I do something called splitting the processing load for my streams and my on-demand videos. You might be confused. You're like, what does that mean? Well, unlike other content creators on the internet, I do not just do one process of capturing and broadcasting. A lot of content creators, what they do is they just capture from their console or their PC. They run it through capture software like I do. I use OBS. A lot of people use OBS. And there's one feed that goes out to the internet, whether it goes to Twitch, whether it goes to YouTube, wherever it's going, okay? Kick, wherever they're streaming. Then after the fact, once that stream is done, all they do is they take the one archived video of that stream and they just go, bloop, it's archived. There you go. Watch it on demand if you want. All right? They don't split it up. They don't edit it. They don't title it. They do nothing to curate that content. They just let it sit there as a raw stream. I know because my wife and I have watched streamers like this. They're very prominent and they get tons of views. I guess people just don't mind the fact that they just put down raw content and don't even title it half the time properly. I put in a lot of extra effort on top of what a lot of other people do to make it so that my content is more easily digestible and watchable for multiple kinds of audiences. I appreciate everyone who's here every day for the live stream. But at the same time, I understand that I got my start on YouTube as an on-demand gamer. Someone who put out playthroughs offline before I even live streamed. And I still have thousands of people who tune into my channel on a daily basis to watch that style of content. They can't catch the live streams. They just want to watch it after the fact. So, unlike those other content creators that just dump their archive stream and they're done, I put in a ton of extra work and effort. What I do is during the course of me broadcasting a live stream, I separate my content into individual videos and record them locally to my hard drive. It's not just a stream that you're seeing live on the internet. It's actually a twofold piece of content. Now, why do I do that? Well, there's two main reasons why I do that. Reason number one is because if you're recording locally and something happens to go wrong with your internet or your stream, you still have your video. You see? If I were only doing a live stream on YouTube and then all of a sudden my internet cuts out, guess what would happen? You would not have that archived video anymore. You would be losing a giant chunk. What if I'm playing a game and the internet goes out in the middle of a boss fight and then I finish the boss, and I look back, and I'm like, oh crap, the last 20 minutes didn't broadcast. Well, now no one will ever see that 20 minutes ever because it was not recorded anywhere. And that has happened several times, usually a year. My internet might ever accidentally cut out or lose connection to YouTube or whatever it may be. And you would lose that. You would lose gameplay. You would lose parts of a stream because I'm not recording it locally. That's number one. Now, number two, one of the major reasons why I've always done the stream here while also recording is because over the years, streaming has changed. Different streaming websites have different criteria for the level that you can actually broadcast. Twitch, particularly, when I used to stream on there, they have like the worst. It was like 6,000 kilobits per second. You can't do 1080p video at 6,000 kilobits per second. It's literally not possible. It's going to be choppy and it's going to look like crap. Okay? So what I would do is I would broadcast at whatever the maximum they would allow me to, but then I would record locally at a better quality. So that way, if you're happen to be an on-demand viewer, right, you could see a better quality than if you were there live. And maybe you were watching live, you're like, wow, I'm disappointed at how bad this looks. You could watch it on demand later and you'd get a better experience out of it. Okay? So I've always done this. Now, one other reason as well that I split up my videos is because it allows you to focus in specifically on the content that you want to watch without having filler and without having confusion. Now, what does that mean? For example, today, what am I doing today, right? I am streaming a podcast, right? Then I'm doing a react show. Later tonight, I'm doing Call of Duty. What if that was all one stream, right? Imagine if I did it all back to back. Now you have one video that's 10 things. Plus, you'd have the pre-stream music, any commercial breaks that I take would be recorded. It's a mess. In order to navigate it, even with timestamps, that's too much of a mess. Why do you need one video with a podcast, ad breaks, and gameplay? You don't want that. You want that content separated so it's more digestible, right? So that's why, another reason why I split my videos into individual parts, and I record them separately from the live stream, okay? Now, don't worry, there's a reason I'm telling you all of this, okay? So, yes, I am very different from everyone else out there with the way that I capture and I stream and I do everything. I've always done it this way, by the way, while most content creators don't do this. They just do the one, and that's why you might say, well, why are other content creators able to play PC games? That was why, because they're only doing one capture feed, and then they just dump it on the internet, while me, I was always doing multiple. So my computer is doing double the work of most other people who are playing games. So good luck playing any kind of a video game on the same PC that you're capturing twice at the same time, all right? So, the point that I'm getting to here is that earlier this year, I realized I could split the processing load of these two processes. I could make it so that my GPU actually encoded one of those streams, and my CPU could encode the other. So as of now, I basically have my GPU doing the streaming. So it takes all the video out of OBS here and it puts it out on YouTube. My CPU is recording the local videos, right, to my hard drive. So because I split that, instead it used to be all on the CPU. Because I was able to split that, now I was able to dramatically increase the quality at which I record and stream. I used to do around 8,000 kilobits per second. Now I'm doing 13,000 kilobits per second, okay? That is well above what you should need for 1080p video, okay? But I want to make sure my videos look as good as they can. I want my streams to look as good as they can. The problem with this is, thus, YouTube does what's called processing. So when you're streaming and when you're uploading, YouTube takes that raw quality video that you've created and they convert it to make it a ton of different qualities for people who can't watch at, say, the highest level. So on any typical day when I upload a video to YouTube, it'll have a 1080p 60 frame per second quality, a 720p 60 frame per second quality, a 480p 30 frames per second quality, and then sometimes it even has two lower versions than that. If you're watching at 144p, I don't know how on earth you put up with it. Can you imagine how bad that must look, right? So, with all that going on, YouTube, sadly, kills the quality of a lot of stuff that you upload or stream. Particularly, the on-demand videos that I've uploaded look good. Like, I've noticed over the last several years that I've returned to YouTube and been doing this higher quality of on-demand video. They look great. They really do. But people have told me that the live streams tend to chop up, that the live streams tend to become really pixelized, especially during a game that has a lot of action. So a first-person shooter, or a game recently like I'm playing now, Assassin's Creed Mirage, where you're in an open world and you're running around these fields full of detail and you're doing parkour across rooftops at a high speed, and all of that ends up becoming very pixelized. And essentially what that is that YouTube is on the fly attempting to encode what I'm sending it via my live stream feed, and it's doing a poor job. Okay? So, the reason I'm telling you this whole story is because I was playing Assassin's Creed Mirage at launch day a couple days ago. And although the on-demand videos looked great, they were 60 frames per second, they were smooth, they looked good. People were telling me that the stream did not look good. They were actually quite upset. So the stream quality just isn't up to par from what we'd expect, and it's disappointing. And I was like, well, that sucks. I don't want to put out an inferior stream product. I wonder what's going on. So looking into it, you know, a viewer of mine sent me some data, and they said, after data mining and looking for this information, are you aware that you're likely broadcasting on the wrong codec on YouTube? YouTube is not properly using the bitrate you're sending them, and because of that, your streams look like crap. Now, I want you to think about that, everything I just said. You would think that when you set up a stream on YouTube, YouTube would say, hey, you know, you're streaming at this quality. We recommend that you use this version of our streams because this is going to give you a better performance, right? Or you would even think when you're setting up a stream, right on the first screen when you set up the stream, there would be a big segment that said, hey, what quality are you going to be streaming at today? Because here's all these options we have on YouTube with different encoding options so that your streams will look better. None of that happens. None of it. Okay? It's bare bones when you set up a stream on YouTube. You just got to figure everything out for yourself. And the options of different streaming codecs and things literally don't exist. Listen to this. They hide the option to stream at a better quality and a better encoding codec inside of a streaming key menu. If you don't know what stream keys are, they're essentially a code that you need. And when you have that code, that's the address that your streaming software knows to send your stream to. Think of it like a physical street address to mail a piece of mail to, or an IP address to contact someone on the internet and reach out to them and be able to connect to their computer. That's exactly what it is. It's the address where you're broadcasting your stream. Why are you listing codec and stream quality options only on the same screen where you're generating me the instructions of where to send the stream? They're completely different things. It's two different steps of the process. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to paint a picture. One step of the process is selecting the paint tools and the methods I will generate this quality picture. The other is, where do I send the picture when it's done? But according to YouTube, they're the same step. Okay, thanks YouTube. You're really genius. Again, so what I tell you about people at YouTube. They're incredibly smart people. A lot of the people who work at Google and YouTube are Ivy League educated. The problem is they are book smart. They have no social skills, and they have absolutely no street smarts whatsoever when it comes to how the things they code are implemented. We coded amazing options, and we hid them in a fucking menu no one would know about because we don't actually use the site, so we don't actually know where people would select these options or look for them, so we didn't understand that no one knows these exist and they're hidden behind some kind of a stupid menu. I got the drip going. 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 Can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.